Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tanishka Kamli from the Technology Express, and today we're here at SIFAMO AI, joined with Didem. Didem is a visionary leader in AI and innovation with over 26 years of experience in the field. Didem, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. It's
Great.
a pleasure to be here.
We'd love to know a little bit more about your journey, so could you just take us through that?
Absolutely, thank you so much. I spent about 26 years in disruptive technologies. My background is electrical engineering and management, and I also was fortunate to get scholarship, so I studied and worked in the States, did my MBA, and last 13 years in the AI space, which started with Microsoft Research as part of their first business AI team, then moved over to AI engineering team and launched their Power platform, which is their first AI SaaS platform.
Okay.
And then I basically set up Accenture's Microsoft AI practice and continued Microsoft again. Today I have my own business to advise businesses in their AI journeys, like Goldman Sachs and their portfolio companies.
So you spent a lot of time in AI.
Correct.
So how
with traditional and generative.
Of course. So how has your experience of AI evolved over the years?
So, as I mentioned, I started in the R&D department with Microsoft, and our mission was to build a $5 billion business in 3 years, and we exceeded that. I brought the fourth paying AI customer to Microsoft. And then it continued in AI product engineering team, where we launched this platform, and I was also part of the Copilot team. My peer built GitHub Copilot, so found myself in the quick kitchen of generative AI, helped with the OpenAI partnership, and also led operationalization of responsible AI at Microsoft sales organization, Accenture, Schneider Electric, and of course I today help my clients with that as well. So it evolved from R&D to engineering to sales, partnerships, and now it's pretty much AI advisory across the board.
Amazing. So it's been a completely holistic experience in AI.
I feel very privileged and lucky.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
All right. So AI is often looked at as a disruptor in the market. But how do you suggest that AI can be used as a long-term sustainable growth strategy for a company rather than just a short-term advantage?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is, I think any disruptive technology is like that, but AI more so and more comprehensive than others. So today, as I advise some of my clients, some are in private equity, others are financial services, and others are like technology consulting firms like SIFAMO actually. Usually it's easier to start with an internal scan, because if we mess up, it's easier to do it in our own garden and then learn from our mistakes and improve.
Right.
But many of my clients also want, to your point, to increase their revenue, infuse AI into their customer or client offerings or partner offerings. So it's very, very impactful there too. In fact, I'm helping several IT technology consulting firms with building their AI practice, growing it, and expanding, basically upselling, cross-selling to their clients with AI.
Yes, and you briefly mentioned generative AI as well.
Sure.
And it is one of the most talked about topics in AI right now.
Sure.
And I'm sure there's a lot of misconceptions about it as well. So with your experience as the Goldman Sachs Council of AI, what do you think are the most misconceptions about generative AI right now?
Oh, that's an interesting question. So I think one of the biggest misconceptions, I'm not sure if it's misconception or just confusion.
Right.
But I still, in this day, February 2025, I still hear, is AI, generative AI a hype? Is it having impact?
Right.
It has been having impact for more than a decade. So that's one of the interesting, let's say, because there's so much noise and buzz, I think people are getting confused.
Right.
The second potential misconception or clarification needed is, until we launched ChatGPT with OpenAI in November 2022. Until then, I used to say, oh, it all starts with data. Like, if you don't have data, then you will be limited in your... But actually, since then, I say it starts with culture and mindset. So I would highly recommend our audience to really do that step of leadership, courage, because it's not an easy journey for sure.
Of course.
To take it and start learning, because the earlier starters learn fast and of course progress fast. So it's a must have.
Of course. And with generative AI, most people look at it from a unidimensional lens of just chatbots and content creation. But how do you see the opportunities going beyond that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it's, first of all, the definition of generative, it could be text, of course, but we could do audio, video, photos, etc., images.
Of course.
And it goes way beyond, because we now, like with the coming of deep sequences, we are now able to use teacher algorithms to teach their students to do things. In other words, agency is a step change that is right here, right now. And we can have employee agents or HR agents, just like we have across the board. So there are so many things coming our way. It's a bit hard to keep up, but you know, knowing our strategy, knowing what problems or opportunities we want to pursue helps a lot.
Yes,
Focus.
AI is definitely moving quite fast.
Yes.
Which industries do you think are underutilizing generative AI right now?
Great question. So I think construction, public sector are a little behind the curve than others. Some industrials, not all, are also a little behind the curve.
Right.
But that also creates a huge opportunity for some companies. I worked in an AI due diligence project for Goldman Sachs, for instance, and it's in the heart of construction industry, doing amazing things, industrial constructive equipment, and they are by far the market disruptor and leader. So I think the fact that an industry may be ahead or doesn't change the opportunities associated. So there's so much to be done.
Definitely, and with the construction industry as well, with off-plan projects and those kinds of properties coming up in the future, it's very imperative for companies to bring in that AI technology in their companies
from the
now.
start. Exactly, you're spot on.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, great. So you have been a great voice for women in tech, and you've been recognized as a Tech 100 champion as well. So how has that experience shaped you and the kind of work that you're doing in this industry?
So as I mentioned, I've been in the disruptive technology sector for more than 25 years, and there was always a diversity challenge, and not just gender, any type of diversity. It just happens gender is very, 50-50, so it's very, very visible. So I have always tried to improve that situation through my social impact work. With, basically when I joined Microsoft Research Business AI team, we were a team of 100, and there were it was just like about 90 Chinese men, a few Canadian men, a few French men, and then me, the weirdo Turkish female from UK. So I thought, this is not normal. I have to do something about this, and we built this Girls in AI hackathons around the world, like the first pilot, and that won that award, which was wonderful because it accelerated our impact. And even though pandemic kind of slowed things down a little bit, it's great to have that kind of influence. Thank you for the recognition.
Thank you so much for all your contributions as well.
Thank you.
So given your experience working with MNCs all across the world, what were some of the biggest technical roadblocks that you saw companies usually face in adopting AI into their models?
I think, as I mentioned, culture, mindset, because it requires that vision, that commitment. It's not an easy task. There will be hurdles, there will be failures on the way, and it requires not just people and resources, investment, but also time, which is the biggest thing. So many amazing companies are unable to spare that time to say, okay, I'm doing my job great, but if I don't infuse AI, I will not survive.
And with the adoption of AI within companies as well, do you recommend for it to be vertical specific AI systems that are put in place, or over generalized across the board?
It depends on the business strategy.
Okay.
I think if the companies know what they want to do, sometimes a general one is fine, or a small language model is fine. Or if they want to have very specific domain agents or AI, let's say, that's also fine. That's also possible. What I have worked most commonly with my clients is when we are doing an internal horizontal scan, like in other words, what are the most important use cases, tools, off-the-shelf tools, or agents for HR, finance, legal, R&D, marketing, etc. That's one, let's say, value chain scan. And if it's external, then we look at which industry is this company in. If it's retail, then you bring the retail portfolio and they choose from that menu.
Understood. Great. So as AI is evolving into this entire landscape that we have over here, is there any future where AI moves from more data-driven models to more reasoning-based models, which has already begun now?
Yes.
But to what extent can we see that happening?
Yeah, sure. So first of all, as you may be familiar, data is already consumed in a way.
Yes.
So today, I think, if I'm not mistaken, half of the data is being generated by AI agents or chatbots, and so it's kind of artificial data already. But the inference side, what you're alluding to by reasoning models and what we are doing with the models, is just the beginning. So I completely agree. The data is just one side of the equation. Inference is just starting, and I think that's the exciting part, because what we have been doing until now is just the plumbing. What do we do with that water? How do we irrigate our farms is the question.
Got it. So just my final question to you. Since investing in AI is becoming more of an important topic that people are looking into, so if you were to advise a technical lead or an AI lead on what is just one specific technical investment that they should make today, what would that be?
Talent is the biggest success factor. So when I help with AI due diligence, or when I help with a portfolio company of my investor clients, the very first thing I check is talent. Is it real? Is it in-house? Is it really knowledgeable? Or are they converted from software engineers in the last 6 months or something? So there are signals that we check, and I think that's very, very important that talent is there.
Of course.
It's hard to keep.
Definitely. Thank you so much, Didem, for joining us here today.
Thank you.
It has been amazing getting to know all of these insights from you. And yeah, we wish you the best for the future.
Thank you so much for having me.